And I forgot your name again, but I still hear it in the rain. Shadows trace the place you stood, like ghosts pretending to be good. Every step echoes something lost. Every breath reminds the cost. Where the night forgot you, I still remember every truth. Even if the stars fade out, your memory still speaks aloud. Streetlights on my broken song, I replay where we went wrong. Midnight keeps your silhouette wet, a promise made a slow regret. Maybe time will blur your face, but never fill your missing place. Where the night forgot you, I still keep a piece of you. Even when the world moves on, some echoes never truly gone. The city hums without your sound. I chase your shadow through the town. Your echo lingers in the glass, a ghost that time can never pass. Every light reminds me where you used to breathe the midnight air. Midnight without your name, nothing feels the same. The silence feels too loud. Your memory pulls the clouds. walls still know the sound of us. Your shadow lingers in the dust. I sit where all the silence grows and reread lines nobody knows. Every breath is something I confess. Every tear becomes a whispered guess. Echoes in the quiet, memories that faded. The truth I never said aloud still shakes me like a distant sound. Echoes in the quiet, I can't deny it. You're the ghost my heart allowed. Your sweater hangs beside my bed, a monument to words unsaid. The midnight lamp still flickers low, revealing scars I never showed. If healing lives inside the light, why do I crave these broken nights? Echoes in the quiet, memories that faded. The truth I never said aloud still shakes me like a distant sound. Echoes in the quiet, I can't deny it. You're the ghost my heart allowed. Maybe closure isn't meant for me. Maybe truth is just a memory. Echoes in the quiet, no matter how I tried. Your voice returns to fill the space that time could never quite replace. Echoes in the quiet, my heart can't hide it. You remain my silent grace. The quiet breaks like shattered glass with every memory of our past. Your laughter lingers in the walls, a distant echo that still calls. I try to breathe, but every sound is filled with pieces of your ghost around. Your shadow slips beneath the door, like someone I don't know anymore. I thought the silence meant I healed, but now the truth is all revealed. In this shattered quiet, my heart can't deny it. You were everything I chased. Now you're a ghost I taste. Why does the silence feel Shattered, quiet, my heart still lives inside it. Every moment breaks anew because the silence feels like you. I try to run from what I knew, but every echo leads to I hear your voice in empty streets, a fading pulse beneath my feet. The neon lights reflect your name, a memory I can't contain. All the pieces I denied rise again like waves inside. The weight of your ghost, it pulls me close. I try to run but lose the fight. Your shadow clings to every light. The weight of your ghost hurts me the most. You stay in places I can't hide. Your laughter haunts the evening air, a phantom warmth that isn't there. I breathe but can't forget the taste of what we lost, of what we faced. Every truth I pushed aside finds a way to stay alive. The weight of your ghost, it pulls me close. I try to run but lose the fight. Your shadow clings to every light. The weight of your ghost hurts me the most. You stay in places I can't hide. Maybe I was meant to hold all the things we left untold. The weight of your ghost still hurts the most. No matter where I try to be, your memory always finds me. The wooden floor still creaks your name, and nothing here feels quite the same. Your photograph beneath my hand still asks a question I can't stand. I whisper truths into the dark, but silence hits the deepest mark. Where you left my heart, it still falls apart. Every corner of this place reminds me of your fading grace. Where you left my heart, a broken work of art. I keep it though it tears me more It's still hanging on the door, your echo woven in the floor. A quiet ache I learned to keep, a promise buried soft and deep. I tell myself to walk away, belonging always makes me stay. Where you left my heart, it still falls apart. Every corner of this place reminds me of your fading grace. Where you left my heart, a broken work of art. I keep it though it tears me more, a wound I never could ignore. Maybe love was never meant to stay, but why can't mine just fade away? Where you left my heart, it's still in the dark. I trace the pieces you once knew, all of them still point to you. The dawn breaks slow across my room, uncovering the quiet gloom. Your name still trembles in the air, a fragile truth I used to bear. All the echoes start to reel, reminding me of what was real. Everything I still feel cuts deeper than the wounds can heal. The ghosts we made don't disappear, they whisper when the night is near. Everything I still feel proves the pain was always real. Your memory pulls me like a tide, truth I never learned to hide. The window shows our yesterdays, reflections caught in golden haze. I stand inside the breaking light, still holding on to losing fights. Every step I try to take shakes the ground I didn't break. Everything I still feel cuts deeper than the wounds can heal. The ghosts we made don't disappear, they whisper when the night is near. Maybe love was meant to fade, but mine refused to walk away. from the light. Your name slips out between my sighs, a quiet ache I can't disguise. My heartbeat tells a story too, a rhythm still attached to you. Truth in the dark, it pulls me apart. I say your name like it's a prayer to fill the space you left right there. Truth in the dark, a slow burning spark. I still feel you in my skin, a secret I keep tucked within. I try to wash your touch away, but love outlives the break of day. Your memory fills the room like smoke, a promise sealed but never spoke. I only breathe when shadows fall. It's when I hear your silent call. Truth in the dark, it pulls me apart. I say your name like it's a prayer to fill the space you left right there. If loving you was my mistake, why does my heart refuse to break? Truth in the dark, my incomplete art. I keep you hidden in my chest, where only night can see the rest. Some mornings feel too heavy, like my heart forgot its name. I trace the fading memories of the days before the pain. The mirror shows a version of a girl who tried to stay, but every smile she painted slowly chipped itself away. I'm learning how to breathe again, though every breath still trembles thin. These scars I learned from teach me how far I've come. Every crack that made me break showed a truth I had to face. These scars I learned from, they're proof I'm not undone. The pain I carried for so long is slowly learning to move on. I walk past all the places where the shadows used to live. The streetlights feel much softer now that I have more to give. I fold my fears like letters, place them gently on the shelf. Healing isn't perfect, it's just learning to trust myself. Some days the past calls out to me, but I don't break as easily. These scars I learned from show me what I've become. Every tear I tried to hide helped me clear the darker skies. These scars I learned from a map of where I'm from. The nights I thought would never end become the chapters that transcend. I never knew that breaking could be the start of healing too, but in the quiet moments I found softer parts of truth. The wounds I thought would own me became stories I forgave, and all the hurt I carried began to bloom These scars I learned from. I'm brighter than I was. Every bruise that stained my heart slowly grew into a spark. These scars I learned from. They're how I overcome. If pain returns, I'll face the dawn. I'm strong enough to carry on. I breathe, I rise, I learn again. Healing, I breathe, I rise, I learn again. Healing lies beneath my skin. I used to drown inside my thoughts, waves of memories I never caught. Every heartbeat felt like glass, shattering pieces of my past. I held my breath for far too long, afraid to face what felt so wrong. But even in the darkest night, there's always room for one small light. I feel it growing slow inside, a flicker I can't push aside. I'm learning to breathe again, to let the light come pouring in. The weight I carried for so long is lifting as I grow strong. I'm learning to breathe again, to trust the place Healing comes slow like sunlight, trying to warm a winter room. I trace the lines of all my fears and plant their roots where flowers bloom. My hands still shake some mornings, but less than they used to do. The world feels less like breaking, more like something I passed through. I take a breath and feel it in a fragile piece within my hands. Healing comes slow, but it comes, I know. Every day I find my way through storms that try to make me stay. Healing comes slow, but it starts to show. The cracks that once were only pain now let in light like gentle rain. There's comfort in the quiet now, a softness where the hurt once lived. I learned that letting go of guilt was the hardest gift to give. My chest no longer feels as tight, my soul no longer bows to fear. Sometimes the past still calls me back, but I don't break the way I did last year. The hope I lost begins to rise, a quiet truth behind my eyes. Healing comes slow, but I watch it grow. Every shadow starts to fade in places where my strength was made. Healing comes slow, but I start to glow. The nights I cried have turned to signs of how I learned to draw the lines. Every scar that shaped my breath, every tear that spoke of death, all the nights I fell apart became the roots inside my heart. I'm learning how to take up space, to feel the sun upon my face, to stand again on steady ground, a piece of peace I finally found. Healing comes slow, but I let it flow. Every ache that held me tight now bends beneath the growing light. Healing comes slow, but I'm not letting go. I rise again despite the past. This time my hope is built to last. Slowly, softly, I return to me. I walked through fire wearing fear. My voice was gone, but now it's near. The echoes of the nights I cried still tremble, but they fade with time. I learned to stand where shadows grew, to face the storms I once withdrew. My heart was breaking piece by piece, but every crack became release. In ruin I found room to bloom, a promise rising from the gloom. From broken into becoming, my heart is finally humming. Every piece that fell apart rebuilt the rhythm of my heart. From broken into becoming, my became. From broken into becoming, my hope is overflowing. I rise from ashes I once feared, a future blooming from the tears. From broken into becoming, my heart is still becoming. I stand reborn from every fall. I was wounded, but I evolved. I used to look for love in pain, believe the hurt was part of gain. I gave too much of who I was to feel the warmth that wasn't love. My heart was gentle, soft and scared, always hoping someone cared. But healing taught me something new. I had to learn to care for me too. Every tear became a guide, a truth I couldn't push aside. I'm learning to hold myself the way I wanted someone else. I'm giving me the love I lacked when I kept breaking just to bend back. I'm learning to hold myself, not to depend on someone else. My heart is finding a new embrace, a love I never thought I'd face. I stopped apologizing for the space I take, the pain I bore. I stopped pretending I'm okay when storms inside won't go away. I trace the scars with tender care. I breathe into the weight I wear. Every tremble in my bones reminds me I'm not healing alone. My softness is my strongest part, the proof I still protect my heart. I'm learning to hold myself the way I dreamed of someone else. The love I needed all along was growing quiet but growing strong. I'm learning to hold myself, a deeper truth than someone else. The hands that failed me in the past are teaching me my peace can last. I used to think I needed saving, but now I see the truth I'm braving. I'm worthy of the care I seek. The love I give is not a weakness. I'm stitching all the broken parts. I'm gentle with my fragile heart. I'm standing in my sacred skin, a place I'm learning to begin. I'm learning to hold myself more than I trusted someone else. For every time I fell apart, I found a stronger beating heart. I'm learning to hold myself, a healing that becomes itself. If love returns someday to me, I'll know I came in whole and free. Softly, slowly, I return to me. spark too scared to ever diminish. You held my hand like it meant nothing, but I felt everything erupting. We walked a line between maybe and no, too afraid to let our true selves show. And in that fear we let it die, a truth we never dared to try. I still feel you when nights get cold, a story left but never told. This is our unfinished love, a truth we didn't speak enough. We let the moment slip away before our hearts could ever say. This is our unfinished love, a ghost my soul keeps dreaming of. We never tried, we never knew, but I still feel unfinished with you. I hear your name in every rhythm, and beats from memory still living. You smile at me in crowded places, I pass the flickers through your traces. We meant to talk, we meant to try, but almost was our last goodbye. You walked away but left your flame, and part of me still holds your name. We broke before we even bent, a story past not truly spent. This is our unfinished love, a song we never sang enough, a verse without a final rhyme, a moment caught outside of time. This is our unfinished love, a truth the night keeps thinking of. We left the ending undefined, a piece of you still stuck in mine. Sometimes I dream we finish it, a kiss of our perfect fit. Sometimes I dream we fall apart before we even get to start. Every time I close my eyes, your touch returns without disguise, and in that dream I finally see the love you never gave to me. This is our unfinished love, a pain I never rise above. You left your shadow in my chest, a ghost that never found its rest. This is our unfinished love, a story fate did not approve of, but even though we're far from true, my heart stays incomplete with you. Unfinished, like we always were. I held the truth between my fingers, but I never let it fall. I watched your shadow dance with someone while I leaned against the wall. You never saw the way I stared, afraid that you would understand. My heart was beating way too loud, I hid the tremors in my hands. I tried to tell you once or twice, but fear kept turning love to ice. If only you knew what I wished I could tell you, the nights I stayed awake for a chance my heart could take. If only you knew all the love that I held true. You thought I didn't care at all, but I was terrified to fall. practiced all the words at night, but lost them in the morning light. I told the mirror all my fears, but never you through all these years. Sometimes I think you felt it too, but maybe that's just something I do to comfort me when nights get cold, when I regret what I never told. If only you knew how deeply my heart grew, maybe things would not have changed. Maybe fate could rearrange. If only you knew what held me back from you. Love too scared to come alive, so I stayed hidden to survive. If only you knew. If only you knew. I still remember that September when you smiled and changed my life. You asked if I would walk with you. I swear my heartbeat multiplied. You talked about your favorite songs, your dreams, your fears, your quiet hopes, and I just nodded carefully, trying not to lose my hold. I wanted so damn much to speak, but courage always felt too weak. These are the words I couldn't say, the ones I hid day after day. If love was meant to set me free, why did it feel like chains on me? These are the words I couldn't say, and now the moment's gone away. If I could turn back time somehow, I'd tell you what I feel right now. You told me all about the girl you thought you'd never be enough for. I felt my chest cave in with hurt, but smiled like I had no heart at all. You never knew the way I broke each time your eyes missed mine by miles. I carried every unsaid truth inside my ribs like fragile files. My silence built a cage so tight, a prison made from quiet nights. These are the words I couldn't say, the ones that kept my hope at bay. If love was meant to help me grow, why was I terrified to show? These are the words I couldn't say, now echoing in disarray. If I could try just one more time, I'd speak instead of mine. Maybe you were waiting too, maybe you felt something new, but I will never really know. I didn't give my truth to show. I kept my heart behind a door I feared would break forevermore. The saddest part of all of this, I lost a chance I didn't risk. These are the words I couldn't say, they haunt me every single day. If loving you was fate's design, why wasn't courage also mine? These are the words I couldn't say, but maybe you'll hear them someday. Time rewrites what once went wrong. I'll speak my truth and make it strong. Until then, I sing what I never said. through golden light, like something I could never hold. You looked at me with honest eyes, but never saw the story told. I kept my feelings locked away, afraid they'd ruin what we had. So I became the silent friend who smiled even when hurting bad. I've carried this for far too long, a quiet truth in broken song. You were a love you never wanted, a dream my heart alone had haunted. I held these feelings out of sight, burning softly through the night. You were a love you never wanted, my sweetest ache, my quiet promise. I loved you more than life allowed, a truth I never said out loud. You talk about another love, and I would nod like I was fine, but in the corners of my chest, my heart was dying line by line. I memorized your every laugh, your every sigh, your every glance, hoping someday you'd turn to me and see a chance inside the chance. But love unspoken slowly fades, it breaks in dim unlit cascades. You were a love you never wanted, a dream my soul alone had flaunted. I kept you in my quiet pain, a ghost inside my bloodstream's vein. You were a love you never wanted, a truth I whispered to the darkness. If love had dared to shift our fate, maybe it wouldn't be too late. I've replayed every moment where I almost said your name. Every almost confession still burns inside my veins. Maybe in another timeline you would have chosen me, but here we stand divided by the love you didn't see. You were a love you never wanted, a fire I tended undaunted. If hearts could speak without a sound, you'd know the truth that kept me bound. You were a love you never wanted, yet still the one my soul adopted. Though life refused to let it be, my love was real, though silently. And I let you go. Without a word. I let you get so close to me, closer than I meant to let. I memorized your every move, every smile I can't forget. You touched my shoulder once in June, I swear it stayed for months on end. But you just saw a casual moment while I held galaxies within. You took my breath without a clue. I wish I'd said I fell for you. You never felt me the way I felt you. I gave you pieces you never saw through. You held my heart without even trying, and I stayed quiet, slowly dying. You never felt me, but I felt me. stories like they were sacred texts. I held on to every sentence, wondering what would come next. You'd laugh and touch my arm, and I'd pretend that it was fine, but deep inside my pulse was shaking, praying something might align. I hid the truth behind my ribs, a secret sealed with trembling lips. You never felt me the way I felt you. I built a universe you never walked through. You were the thunder, I was the rain. You never noticed my quiet pain. You never felt me, but I felt you. If I had spoken everything, would it have changed a single thing? Would you have turned your head my way, or walked ahead like any day? I guess I'll never really know. My silence didn't let it grow, but loving you in secret nights still breaks me in familiar lights. You never felt me, but that's the truth. I loved you deeper than my youth. Someday I hope my heart will move, but part of me still clings to you. You never felt me, never knew, but I felt you. Quiet The coffee on the table's cold, just like the words we never hold. You sit across from me in silence, strangers wearing worn out kindness. The chairs still creak the same old way, but nothing here knows what to say. Your eyes don't meet my own anymore, they drift like waves that meet no shore. We used to fight to keep the flame. Now neither one of us remains. Cold coffee, colder hearts, this is where the ending starts. We used to burn with something real, now we barely even feel. Cold coffee, colder hearts, breaking quietly apart. No fireworks, no final spark, just darkness where we lost our mark. The photos on the hallway wall look more alive than we do now. We stand beside our younger selves, alone. was watching love fall apart. Maybe we were doomed to fade. A shadow cast the time unmade. Cold coffee, colder hearts. We both knew from the start that one day warmth would slip away and leave us here with nothing left to say. The cup stays cold, like what we hold. We used to light up every room. Now we just move through separate moods. Your laughter used to feel like home. Now it's a sound I barely know. We talk in echoes, thin and strained, pretending nothing's rearranged. But every smile feels incomplete, a slow retreat without defeat. You reach for me, but not the same. Just habit echoing my name. We're fading slowly, holding on to what's unholy. A love that used to burn so bright now flickers, trying to survive the night. We're fading slowly, like ghosts of our own story. And even though we try to stay, we lose a little more each day. The spaces where we used to touch now feel like miles, a little too much. The bed is wide with quiet ache, a silent truth we fail to break. Your eyes avoid the things we lost, like facing them would be the cost. We keep pretending we're okay, but love like this can't find a way. We hold on tight but drift apart. Two dying beats from one old heart. We're fading slowly, holding on to what's unholy. A spark that once could shake the sky now barely flickers when we try. We're fading slowly in shadows of a story. No sudden crash, no painful end, just losing where we once began. I wish we'd break instead of fade. At least the pain would feel like change. But slow decay is worse than hurt. It drains the color from our world. We stand in place while drifting still, pretending love is something we'll. But deep inside we both can tell our hearts are ringing out a farewell. We're fading slowly, hurting soft and lowly. Maybe this is how love dies, a quiet truth behind our eyes. We're fading slowly, too numb to shout the story. And though we breathe the same old air, there's nothing left between us here. We maybe away. We kept our answers in the dark, two silhouettes that wouldn't start. Your fingers brushed but didn't stay. The words we owed were swept away. I watched you fade in candlelight, a quiet treaty in the night. I hid the things I might have said, left sentences we never fed. My tongue learned silence like a prayer, holding truths you never shared. The things I never said are heavy in my head. They circle in a private storm. They swell, they ache, they keep me warm. The things I never said lie sleeping like the dead. I whisper names that never fled. The things I never said. Paper shows the corners turned. Your shadow lives inside the frame, a little fire with no name. I practice lines that never came, a different ending, different blame. My mouth rehearses what I held, a quiet love that never swelled. Late nights turn memory to proof. I'm speaking to an empty room. The cracks and stop the times, but coward hearts keep paper thin, and silence always hides me in. The things I never said will live when I am dead. They haunt like rain across the glass, a future made of all the past. The things I never said lie heavy on my bed. I'll learn to speak before I'm led by all the things I never said. Your laughter still hangs on the stairs, a ghost that lives in empty chairs. I walk the rooms where morning slept, where promises were softly kept. The photographs begins to fade, the colors lost in slow cascade. But echoes of what we were return like tide to shore. I listen to the quiet press, a memory in soft recess. Echoes of what we were flow through the empty blur. They sing the songs you used to sing, they trace the lines of everything. Echoes of what we were, still spinning silver spur. I try to silence what is heard, the echoes of what we were. The coffee pot remembers remembers you. The window knows the morning view. Small habits hold the tender frames, like signatures without the names. I try to live in present light, but echoes pull me through the night. They map the route we both forgot, a love that didn't plot. The quiet carries whispers back, a map of what our hearts once tracked. Echoes of what we were keep coming in a blur. They rattle softly at the door. They trace the night we had before. Echoes of what we were are louder than I prefer. And though I try to start anew, the echoes say it's you. Maybe echoes teach me how to let the past be past somehow. But every step I try to take brings back the sound you used to make. Echoes of what we were will stay until I learn to carry tenderness instead of holding on to what's been bled. Echoes of what we were, part of this contour. One day they'll lessen as I heal, but echoes will remind me still. The silence sits between our breaths, a thin cold calm with small regrets. I count the clocks, I count the nights, I collect all our missing fights. Your absence hums beneath the floor, a quiet thing I can't ignore. And every hush that drifts to me feels like where you used to be. The quiet shows the truth I hide, the little death that lives inside. When the silence breaks me, I'm hollow where we used to be. The stillness is a deeper ache, a space where I can't seem to wake. When the silence breaks me, I'm learning how to see. The absence writes its bitter plea. When the silence breaks You sent a note, a ribbon's bent, reminders that refuse to end. At dusk I open where it hides, where every little thing collides. I visit the place where memory lives, a tiny chapel with no exit. Each relic hums the name you wore, a careful shrine behind the door. Where your memory lives is softer than it gives. It keeps the things you left behind, a gentle map within my mind. Where your memory lives, I'm learning how to forgive. The past sits patient like a light. Where your memory lives. I pass the spots where we once walked, the alleys where our laughter talked. The city carries our small tunes, they drift across familiar moons. I keep a place to hold your face, a secret time, a private space. It's quiet there, but somehow kind, the shelter where your memories align. The mementos teach me how to stay a little gentler every day. Where your memory lives, I find the ways to give a softer kind of empathy, a way to keep what set me free. Where your memory lives, I rest in what it gives. And though I miss the living you, your memory lives and breathes anew. I'll build a future with those stones, a house with light, a place of bones. Your memory will find its place, a gentle room, a tender space. Where your memory lives won't always be my sieve. It'll teach me how to move ahead, to live with peace instead of dread. Where your memory lives, I'll keep the love that gives. And though the ache is still sincere, your memory lives and heals. There's a sentence on my lip, a trembling truth I cannot skip. I keep apologizing small, yet never voice the bitter all. You taught me how to hide the ache, to stitch the seams and never break. But now confession needs a day, a line I owe and must relay. My chest rehearses all the ways to speak the words my silence weighs. This is the confession I owe, a trembling truth that wants to grow. I'll tell the parts I used to hide, the small confession swallowed wide. This is the confession I owe, a light I let my darkness know. I'll open doors I closed before. This is what I owe you more. I wish I'd said the softer things, the honest notes, the steady rings. I wish I'd held you when you fell, not folded up in silent shell. The confession draws me like a tide, a lets it swoon. I'll give the truths I should have known, and maybe grow from what I've shown. This is the confession I owe, a story that begins to flow. I'll say the things I left unsaid and learn to let forgiveness spread. This is the confession I owe, a grace to help me finally grow. I'll speak it loud until it's whole. Ooh, this is the confession I owe. There's a quiet truth I keep inside, a little place where I confide. You never looked beyond the light, you left the softest things at night. I hold that quiet like a stone, a tender thing I keep alone. It's small but steady in the chest, a truth that asks for some bequest. Each night it pulses like a sign, a patient beat that's truly mine. This quiet truth is all I own, a secret garden overgrown. I plant the words beneath the ground, they grow as hush as subtle sound. This quiet truth is steady, slow, a little life I'll learn to show. It keeps me soft when days get hard. This quiet truth, my steady guard. I speak in fragments to the moon, I map the places we were true. No trumpet plays, no banners wave, just private hymns for hearts that save. This quiet truth will make me stand, a small rehearsal of my hand. And though it's hidden from the crowd, I feel its warmth when nights grow loud. It keeps me patient through the ache, a lamp for when my bones might break. This quiet truth is mine to hold, a gentle warmth against the cold. It learns the shape of who I am, a fragile, honest, healing plan. This quiet truth becomes my way, a truth I'll carry every day. It helps me live when dreams are gray. This quiet truth will find its say. Some truths need patient time to bloom, they grow in secret, not in room. I'll let this quiet take its place until the world recognizes grace. This quiet truth now leads the way, a slow and steady, tender sway. It lives beyond the ache and loss, a compass for when storms emboss. This quiet truth becomes my art, a healing for the broken heart. I'll guard it close, I'll tell it true. This quiet truth will carry through. Confessions in the dark, they live where light no longer sparks. My hand is steady, voice is small. I write the things that gently fall. These notes collect beneath my bed, white paper where the guilt is read. I fold them like a kind of prayer, confessions waiting just to share. The night receives what day would hide. It keeps the secret by my side. Confessions in the dark are carved within my heart. They whisper all the things I fear. They call your name when you're not near. Confessions in the dark are small as softest marks. They hold the weight I can't discuss. Confessions in the dark. I tuck the pages in a box. I send them to the cedar locks. No stamp, no postage, no reply. A little world I keep to try. Some truths are safer in the shade. Some wounds too raw to be displayed. So I write on nights when sleep won't come, confessions saying what I've done. The dark will cradle every line, a shelter for the fragile sun. Confessions in the dark remind me who we are. They show the parts of me that break. They teach the steps that I must take. Confessions in the dark will soften every mark. One day I'll fold them into light. Confessions in the dark. Maybe the morning will forgive. Maybe a new day helps me live. Until then, these pages keep the truths I've dared to say in sleep. Confessions in the dark will shape the next restart. They're tender, honest, sometimes small, but building blocks to stand or fall. Confessions in the dark are where the healing starts. And when I show them to the sun, the confessions have begun. We lost our lines between the page, two paragraphs that couldn't gauge. Your comma stopped before the end, a sentence I couldn't defend. I searched for meaning in the space, in blank margins where time erased. So much is left to underline the parts of us lost in the lines. The margins keep the quiet notes, the ghost of every single quote. Lost between the lines, our story quietly declines. We left the grammar of our hearts, a script with fractured parts. Lost between the lines, the meaning sometimes hides. We scramble words to try and find the pieces lost between the lines. The letters fade into the night, the paragraphs lose all their light. I try to fold the broken page to soften time and empty wage. Your handwriting stays in my head. trace the shapes you left behind, the parts of us I cannot bind. Each blank reminds the absent face, the spaces where we lost our place. Lost between the lines, our love becomes a quiet shrine. We bow to memory and to fear, to nights that never persevere. Lost between the lines, the story often unwinds, and though I try to reassign, we're still lost between the lines. Maybe one day we'll rewrite, fill margins with a tender light, but for now pages keep the ache, the parts we couldn't seem to make. The lost between the lines, we hold the fragments like designs. One day I'll stitch the broken seams and find the truth behind the dreams. Lost between the lines, the story's spirit shines. I'll hold what's left until it mends, even when we're lost between the lines. I kept a map of every day, a little code of what you'd say. I marked your laughter, marked your eyes, those small delights I memorized. I loved you more than you knew, in secret ways I only drew. I painted tenderness and light, a private altar every night. You never saw the quiet stakes, the silent vows my trembling makes. I loved you more than you knew, a feeling stitched like morning dew. It carried on when you were gone, a little hymn to bring me home. I loved you more than you knew, a truth I whispered just to you. And though the world moved on and flew, I loved you to find the grace I used to feel. I loved you more than you knew. Truth remains a constant view, and though we part and go our ways, I loved you more than you knew. I loved you more than you We built a life of careful breath, a steady house that fought the depth. And small things came to claim the night and left the corners out of sight. Everything that's left is mine, the broken cups, the faded sign. I keep the pieces carefully, everything that's left of me. The remnants hold the quiet truth, the salvage of a shared youth. Everything that's left is written in my chest, a collection of the parts you gave, a fragile map I try to save. Everything that's left is softer than the rest. I hold the shards with careful hands. Everything that's You took the morning summer song, but left the places I belong. The midnight lamp, the favorite chair, little things that mark you there. Everything I gather now, I stitch into a brand new vow. I keep the tokens, keep the trace, everything that's left of grace. The leftovers still teaching time, a stitched together steady sign. Everything that's left is what I'll use to cleft the parts of heart that couldn't die, the subtle reasons why I try. Everything that's left is part of the bequest. I'll shape them into something fine. Everything that's left, from leftovers we start again. A simpler home, a kinder plan. We'll grow from what we save tonight. Everything that's left in light, everything that's left becomes my careful head. It holds my future and my past, a tender bond that's made to last. Everything that's left will teach me how to rest. I'll turn the ruins into art. Everything that's right of her. When I say your name, a hush sweeps through the rooms like sudden rush. I hear the echo of the days, a soundtrack to our private ways. days. The letters taste like early rain, a delicate and honest pain. When I say your name aloud, it calls the ghost from out the cloud. The syllables still hold your spine, a cadence only I define. When I say your name, the world becomes the same. It opens up the closed door, brings all the lost things to the floor. When I say your name, my heart remembers flame and maps the nights we used to be. When I say your name, it's you and me. Your name is folded into songs, it hums in places where it belongs. I whisper it in crowded trains, it comforts when the night remains. The two small words contain the years, the steady love, the quiet tears. When I say your name, I find a piece of peace inside the mind. The sound aligns the scattered time, it stitches edges to the right. When I say your name, the past finds its acclaim. It fits the pieces like a glove, a tiny map of what I love. When I say your name, the world will never blame. It holds the promise we once knew. When I say your name, it's true. Names are anchors in the tide, they keep the memory alive. I'll speak it soft until I learn to hold the parts where hearts return. When I say your name, a light begins to frame. It turns the night to something close, a gentle tide that gently flows. When I say your name, it ends the quiet shame. And though we're parted, still I claim. When I say your name, you stay. We started small, we started bright, a promise stitched in warm daylight, but knots unwound beneath the seams, a slower break than fevered dreams. We held the edges, kept the face, but slowly lost the tender place. A slow unravel found its art, a quiet ruin of the heart. The unravel taught us how to fall like thread that gives and cannot stop. A slow unravel took all the cables, it pulled our fabric from the seams, it unrolled all the secret dreams. A slow unravel made truth less stable. We watched the pattern fade to dust, a slow unravel of our trust. We traded hours for a hush, a gentle storm that took the rush. Small slides turned into bigger waves. We learned to live like careful slaves. The knots came loose, the edges frayed. We held the parts we slowly made. The unravel dreams a slow unravel becomes the trouble. We learn to mend what once was torn, to grow alive from early scorn. A slow unravel teaches what's possible. I'll learn to stitch and make amends. A slow unravel that pretends to I made a vow to speak the truth, a fragile pledge that haunts my youth. I walk at night with steady breath. I tell the sky what once was left. The stars become my confidant. They keep the whispers that I chant. I offer gentle, honest plea, a confession to the night, to the peace. The moon receives the words I keep. It steadies me when I can't sleep. This is my confession to the night, a small request to make it right. I'll speak the parts I kept inside. I'll let the quiet turn the tide. This is my confession to the night, a humble, trembling sort of light. Hold the sound, my confession whispers round. I trace the lines of our old home. I place the truths in poems loam. I say the things I should have done. I name the love that left undone. The city listens with soft ears and knows the shape of all my fears. The confession frees my chest, a small release, a needed rest. The night becomes a gentle guide. It takes the words I never tried. This is my confession to the night. Confessions need a fertile place, a tender, patient, healing space. The night allows me to be known, a time for truth when I'm alone. This is my confession to the night, a soft and steady kind of ride. I'll say the things I never said and carry grace into the head. This is my confession to the night. I let the hush receive the light. And though I won't undo the past, my confession helps me last. There's a room where questions live. They sit in corners, quietly give. They ask the things we left unsaid. They track the path of where we fled. I walk the floors and hear them sigh. A chorus soft, a subtle cry. Those questions point to what we lack, the missing lines that pull us back. Answers hide in quiet places. They mirror all our different faces. A room full of questions keeps circling suggestions. It asks the why, it asks the when. It shows the cracks we can't defend. A room full of questions keeps testing all intentions. We learn to answer one by one. A room full of questions. Try to clear the counters clean, to fold the memories in between. But questions settle like a dust. They find the corners of my trust. They ask about the roads we took, the times we looked away from look. Each query is a subtle friend, a piece of where the ends might mend. Each question teaches where to bend. To start, a place to end. A room full of questions becomes a place of lessons. They shape the way I learn to be. They point the path to clarity. A room full of questions leads slowly to direction. I'll answer soft with honest light. A room full of questions. I'll sit with questions by the hour. Let quiet grow into the flower. Answers come with gentle care. A patient voice, a steady prayer. A room full of questions turns into reflections. The doubts become a guiding shot, a roadmap for the tender heart. A room full of questions becomes a kind confession. And slowly with the passing time, the questions teach the rhyme. I inherit quiet after you, a residue of gentle truth. It lives inside the morning light, a patient, slow, forgiving sight. I keep the hush like a new coat, a thing that fits and keeps afloat. The quiet holds the leftover grace, the softened contours of your face. Silence can teach the tender thing, a patient chord that learns to sing. The quiet I inherit becomes a tender spirit. It shows the smallness of my ways. It steadies me through darker days. The quiet I inherit is gentle and deliberate. I wrap it close and learn to be a softer kind of memory. Your absence taught me how to slow, to breathe. between the undertow. The quiet filled the shape of home, a place where I can now be known. I watch the dawn with kinder eyes. I mark the days with small surprise. The quiet teaches me to live, to give the parts I have to give. The silence mends where voices fray. It shapes the path to gentler day. The quiet I inherit gives me a way to merit the love I lost and still revere. A way to hold it close, not fear. The quiet I inherit becomes a truth. I carry it, and though I miss the life we had, the quiet helps me not be sad. Inheriting the stillness helps. It softens edges, heals the welts. I learn to keep the calm and rest. The quiet gives my heart its nest. The quiet I inherit becomes my honest merit. It shapes a life that's brave and mild, a refuge for the tender child. The quiet I inherit turns grief into a spirit, and little by little I will grow. The quiet I inherit I confess in simple ways the little acts that build our days. I place the coffee on your tray. I fold the towels you threw away. Those small confessions tend to show a love that's patient, slow to grow. I offer tiny every day, a confession that will stay. Small acts become the larger truth, a daily pattern soften roots. This is my confession of every day. Small things I do and I can't say. They show the care beneath the skin, a quiet place where love begins. This is my confession of every day, a tapestry of humble play. I stitch the seams with gentle hands, confessions of This is my confession of every day, a gentle litany that stays. It proves that love is built on time, a patient, slow and honest climb. This is my confession of every day, small acts that never fade away, and in the end they form the part. The confession of you haunt the corners of my days, a tender echo of your ways. Not angry, not with bitter spite, just present in the softest light. I walk and sense your shadow near, a gentle lake that volunteers. It's haunting, but it's also true, a part of me that learned of you. The presence knows the shape of care, a memory that's always there. It's haunting, but it's true, a quiet that still points to you. It lingers like a coastal fog, a hint of everything we logged. It's haunting, but it's true, a little part that's still for you. And though I'm learning to let go, the haunting proves the love I know. The rooms are softer for the things that trace the time we used to bring. The kettle boils and calls your name, 1,000 small familiar claims. I don't resent the tender ghost, it taught me how to love the most. The haunting sits in patient view, a memory that's quietly true. The past remains a gentle tune, a lesson in the afternoon. It's haunting, but it's true, a quiet that still points to you. It makes the morning slightly bright, a balm for every aching night. It's haunting, but it's true, a part of me I can't eschew. And though the future calls my name, the haunting still keeps tender flame. Some ghosts provide a steady hand, they guide me gently through the land. I'll keep the lessons, keep the hue, the haunting blended with the true. It's haunting, but it's true, a part of me that's overdue. I learned to hold and not to shove, to keep the quiet as my love. It's haunting, but it's true, a memory that helps renew. I'll carry what the night has shown, haunting true, not alone. Not alone. I forgot how I was supposed to feel. Every breath was sharp and unreal. Lived in panic, lived in doubt, like peace had figured its way out. My chest was tight with yesterday, every fear refused to stay away. They say time heals, but no one said it starts by teaching you to breathe again. I'm learning how to breathe again. Slow my heart release the pain. Every inhale feels like truth. Every breath restores my youth. I'm learning how to breathe again. Not surviving but living in. I lost myself in what has been. Now I'm learning how to breathe again. I blame myself for every scar, for loving deep and falling hard. I wore the shame like it was skin, like healing was a deadly sin. The cracks let in a softer light, and night taught me to trust the fire. If breathing is the first repair, then maybe hope is already there. Is already breathe again. Letting go of who I've been. I forgive the fear. I forgive the pain. I'm learning how to breathe again. I'm learning how to breathe again. Letting go of who I've been. I forgive the fear. I forgive the pain. I'm learning how to breathe again. They look at me like I'm the wound, like pain is all I ever knew. But scars are proof I didn't fall. They mean I lived through all of it all. I stitched myself with shaking hands. Learned how to stand where I once sank. Scars don't mean I'm broken. They mean I stayed when I was open. Every mark is a reason why I'm still here, still alive. Scars don't mean I'm broken. They're promises I never stole. I survived what tried to end me. Scars don't mean I'm broken. I used to hide them from the light, afraid they'd ruin every sight. Now I wear them on a Some mornings I wake up tired of trying, like hope learned a different language. The mirror shows a stranger staring, someone older than their age. I carry nights I couldn't sleep through, memories that hit without a sound. But my feet still touch the bedroom floor, and that alone means I'm around. They told me healing comes in waves, but no one said how long you'd stay. I'm still healing, still here, still standing face to face with fear. I bend, I shake, I almost disappear, but I'm still healing, still here. I don't shine, I don't feel clear, but my heart is breathing year by year. I'm not done, I haven't quit. I'm still healing, still hearing it. I stop pretending I'm okay, stop rushing pain to fade away. Some wounds don't close on timelines, they ask for honesty, not lies. I learned that rest is not surrender, and strength can look like asking why. I let the tears come when they need to, instead of swallowing them dry. Survival taught me how to stay, now healing's teaching me how to live this way. I'm still healing, still here, still learning how to persevere. Some days allow, some disappear, but I'm still healing, still here. I don't have answers, I don't steer, I just keep showing up sincere. I'm not home, but I exist. I'm still healing, still here through this. Healing isn't fireworks or grace, sometimes it's choosing not to break. It's forgiving the version of me that did the best she could that day. If staying is the bravest act, then I've been brave my whole damn life. I may be slow, I may be scared, but I'm still standing in the light. I'm still healing, still here. I survived, my heart is still. Every breath is evidence that I'm stronger than my fear. I don't rush, I don't run, I don't hide from what I was. I'm becoming bit by bit. I'm still healing, still hearing. Still here, and that matters. Still here, and that matters. You used to lean in closer, like I was where you belonged. Now every space between us feels quietly wrong. You stopped asking questions, stopped looking my way. I felt you leaving before you stayed. I tried to name the moment when something changed, but love doesn't warn you before it fades. Love didn't stay long, it slips through our hands like Your replies grew shorter, your voice grew thin. I learned how distance sounds when it moves within. I kept adjusting slowly so you wouldn't feel how much I noticed what wasn't real. I carried the effort you left behind, calling it patience, calling it time. Love didn't stay long, but I stayed true. I didn't disappear trying to reach you. Love didn't stay long, and now I see. Sometimes love leaves quietly. You nodded while I talked, but your eyes were never here, like you were answering someone I couldn't hear. I felt the shift in your attention before you said a word. The room was full of distance, even when it wasn't. You were already elsewhere, standing next to me. Your body stayed in place, but your heart was free. You were already elsewhere. I tried to pretend, but love doesn't disappear, it just stops being present. I asked if everything was fine. You said it always is, but truth doesn't hide that well in moments like this. I stopped finishing my sentences. You never noticed the change. I was still reaching for us. You were rearranged. You were already elsewhere before I understood. I kept believing effort would make you stay where you stood. You were already elsewhere, and I stayed too long trying to feel included in where you'd gone. You didn't leave suddenly. You just left quietly. You did elsewhere. Now I finally see love can't survive where attention won't be. You were already elsewhere. Let it be. I won't follow someone who's already free. You say my name like it matters. then disappear for days. You leaning close to promise, then pull away. You ask me how I'm feeling, like you wanna know, but you don't stay long enough to hear it go. Your kindness comes in moments, your distance stays. I keep trying to read between the things you don't say. I blame the timing again, like it's something new. But confusion only happens when someone's unsure of you. Mixed signals feel like silence, silent. You're the one waiting. Hope fills in the gaps you keep creating. Mixed signals feel like silence. I finally see if love was really speaking, it wouldn't sound like this to me. I don't need clarity, I need honesty. I won't guess anymore. It wasn't one moment that changed my mind, just little doubts left behind. You stopped explaining, I used to be clear. I felt my confidence start to disappear. I questioned my reactions before questioning you. I kept adjusting my truth to make our stay smooth. Trusted and shattered loudly, it loosened its grip. Every unanswered feeling, let it slip. Trust didn't disappear at once, it faded slow, like something fragile you don't notice goes. Didn't disappear at once, but it's gone. Love can't survive when certainty's withdrawn. I don't blame myself for noticing. We stood close enough to touch, but never crossed the line. Every moment felt unfinished, like we were borrowing time. You spoke in careful sentences, never too far ahead. I filled the space between your words with things you never said. We almost meant something. That's what hurts the most. Not the ending, but how close. We almost meant something. I held on to that space where love could have stayed, but never chose a place. You kept every door half open, every option in reach. I stayed inside the waiting. You never asked me to leave. I called uncertainty patience, called distance respect. I defended your silence until it was all I had left. I don't grieve what we lost, I grieve what we never became. We almost meant something, but almost isn't real. It doesn't hold you steady or tell you how to feel. We almost meant something. Now I finally know love doesn't live in the space between no and yes. There was no final argument, no words we had to take back, just less of you each day, until nothing came back. We stopped asking questions, stopped trying to explain. Silence replaced effort and called itself change. We broke up quietly without a scene. No shattered moments, just spaces in between. We broke up quietly, like we agreed to let it end without saying anything. I noticed when your voice lost its way, when staying felt optional and leaving felt safe. I kept waiting for a reason, something clear and strong, but endings don't always arrive with proof they belong. Nothing ended suddenly, it just stopped being held. We broke up quietly, that's the truth. without ceremony. We talked about the weather like nothing else existed. Every word stayed careful, like feelings were forbidden. You laughed at all the right times, but never looked my way. I felt the distance growing in the things we didn't say. You asked how work was going, I asked if you were fine. We avoided every question that crossed the real line. I remembered how we used to talk until the night felt close. Now every sentence ends early before it goes too far. We don't talk anymore. You used to ask about my day like it mattered to you. Now answers come late, if they come through. I notice how the little things stop finding their way. The care we built quietly began to decay. You stopped meeting me halfway, stop reaching first. I kept stretching the truth so it wouldn't hurt. I said you were tired, said life was hard, but effort doesn't vanish by accident. I felt myself compensating for what you withdrew, calling it understanding while losing you. I learned the difference slowly between patience and pain. Love doesn't fade gently, it just stops trying when effort started disappearing. I felt it inside. Love can't survive distance, absence of try. When effort started disappearing, so did we. I won't stay with care, leaves quietly. Your messages came after midnight, like they needed darkness to exist. I watched the screen stay empty, teaching myself patience. You said the days were busy like nights weren't long. I kept time for you while you moved on. I told myself late was better than nothing at all, but waiting shouldn't feel this small. You always replied too late when the moment was gone. I stayed awake for answers you typed when I moved on. You always replied too late, like love could be delayed, but timing is a language you never learned to say. Stopped asking real questions, kept the conversation light. I didn't wanna scare you by needing you on time. I learned how to lower expectations so they wouldn't hurt, but love that arrives late still arrives hurt. I don't need instant promises, just presence that's real. If it matters, it shows in how you feel. You always reply too late, I finally understand. Love doesn't live in apologies, and when you can. You always reply too late, and I let it be. I won't wait in silence for someone who won't leave me. I stopped waiting. I did everything they said would work. Stay patient, stay kind, stay small. I waited my turn, I played my part. Still love never called. I watched people get chosen easily, like it was something I missed. I learned that effort doesn't guarantee you'll be loved for it. They told me love comes to the good, to the ones who try the most, but maybe love is stop fixing what wasn't broken. I realized love isn't a price given for devotion. Some hearts meet without trying, some never cross at all. It doesn't mean I failed or that I wasn't enough. I released the rule book I carried too long. Love isn't fair, but it's not wrong. Love is not a reward for standing in line, forgiving more than you can survive. Love is not a reward for proving your pain. If love asks for suffering, it's not love's name. I don't need to deserve love, I just need it to be real.